Hello everyone. In this lesson we'll discuss about two things. One, use of dollar in Excel, and second, if formula. So the situations where we use if formula in Excel. So let's start with the dollar use. In this model we have sales done by 10 salesmen. You can see here in column D we have captured sales done by 10 salesmen, and I want to convert them into percentage. To convert them into percentage, what I will do, everyone, obviously we'll write a equal sign here because I want to write a formula. That formula is sales done by salesman 1 divided by total salesman, which we have captured inside cell D17. Hit enter and you can see the share of salesman 1 is 12% in the total sales. Now to apply the same formula, we can drag this also using fill handle, or you can copy and then drag, right click, paste special, and I want to paste only formulas. I don't want to paste any other behavior. So just to paste formulas, hit OK, and we have pasted our formula. When we drag or paste our formula, you can see a divisional error. Reason, let's talk about this. When I double click on my formula, you can see program has changed my numerator from D7 to D8, which is fine. This is my numerator, everyone. But program has also changed my denominator. My denominator, my total sales we have captured in D17, but program has drag the denominator also, and now my new denominator in this formula is D18, which is wrong. Every time I want to divide from cell by cell D17, so that means I want to freeze this address. To freeze address, everyone, we apply dollar sign. So let me write dollar sign here. Shortcut key to apply dollar sign is, everyone, F4. In some of the keyboard, F4 key works with function key, so that you have to take care. But the shortcut key to apply dollar sign is F4. So once I press F4, you can see my denominator with dollar. Before D you can see dollar, and before 17 you can see dollar. Once I hit enter, everyone, now if I drag this formula, you can see we have calculated properly the sales done by salesman 2, salesman 3, 4, 5. If I double click on salesman 7, you can see the sales done by salesman 7 is in cell D13 and the total sales in cell D17. So this is how we calculate, everyone, and this is how we use dollar. Okay, and then you can say, okay, if I drag this one more time, then you can see this is 100% because we are dividing same cell by same cell. So we are dividing total sales by total sales. Now in this case, you can see a dollar sign before D and dollar sign before 17, where D is a column, 17 is a row. Sometimes we tweak this thing also, guys. Sometimes we apply dollar sign before column and sometimes before row only. So let's to understand that situation, let's discuss about this model. We have captured price USD values, and what I want to do, I want to convert these USD values into INR and GBP. Now to convert this into INR and GBP, what I will do, everyone, will multiply my INR USD into the exchange rate, correct, which is 65 for INR. Hit enter. Now we have written one formula which is H13 multiplied by exchange rate, which is I11. Guys, now if I drag this formula downwards, what program will do, program will change H13 into H14, which is fine, but program will also change I13 into I12, and this is a text value. That means program will return an error. Let me just show you. Let me just drag this. Once I drag this, you can see a value error, and when I double click, program has changed the first value from H13 to H14, which is fine, but program has also changed my I11 into I12, which is wrong. So what I want to do, everyone, I don't want to change my row. I don't want to change row 11 for this case. This is row 11. I want to pick always value from row 11. Next thing, when I drag this formula on the right hand side direction, in the right hand side direction, if I drag this, what program will do? Program will change, everyone, this H13 into I13. That means instead of picking value from this column, this USD $9, program will drag it here, and program will change my exchange rate from I11 to J11, which is fine. So what I want to do, everyone, when I drag on the right hand side, I don't want to change column for USD. So all the USD values are in one column. So what I will do, I will freeze it by column only, and I want to relatively change my rows. In this case, all the exchange rate, you can see two exchange rate here in one row, but in different columns. So I will apply dollar sign before row. Now if I hit enter and copy paste this formula, Let me just copy and paste this formula, and you can see the correct output, everyone. If I double click on this, program has properly multiplied my USD by exchange rate 78, and you can see the output. Let me remove this thick border, select this one, go here, and let me use this all border. This is fine. Now you can see any formula. In this formula also, this is the same formula, everyone. You can see a $ before H, $ before row. So this is a trick which you can use. If every value is in one column, we apply $ before column. If all the values are in one row, apply $ before row and ignore prior to column to pick values from rows, and to pick values from column, apply $ before column. Okay, so this is the understanding of the cases where we use $ before rows and column. Next thing is here. The next thing which we are going to cover in this exercise is if formula. In case of if formula, you can see one table here. We have captured sales. I want to give incentive to each salesman. Basis of this scaling, the scaling is if the sales done by salesman is greater than 8,000, I want to give 5% of sales as an incentive. So how we write formula? If everyone we start with equal sign, we write formula name, we open braces. And now in ifs, you can see we have three arguments: logical test, value of true, value of false. What is my logical test? If this value is greater than equals to 8,000, value if true, what you want to give. Guys, we separate our argument by comma. So I have inserted one comma here, and you can see this is second argument. I want to give this into 5% of sales as an incentive. That means 5% of sales I want to give as an incentive, comma, value false. If there is no value, if my this condition become false, what you want to do? In value false, I want to return, let's say, blank. So double quote twice, close braces, hit enter. So guys, here we have written one formula. This is formatted right now as a percentage. Let me fix this one. Let's select this entire and go under drop down and select this as a number. Okay, left align, you can hit this as a comma separated also. Now this value is greater than 8,000, so that's why you can see 5% of this as an incentive. Let's say I change this value as 4,000. Now 4,000 is obviously less than 8,000, so there is no incentive. Program, you can see value if false value, which is blank, and you can see the output as blank. Now let me just drag this formula, and the situation where our values, the salesman where our values are greater than 8,000, you can see the incentive price, rest of them are blank. So here we have covered the use of if formula. Now in this case, you can see guys, we have multiple conditions. The situation where you have a multiple conditions, we use nested if under if. Okay, so let me just write here one more header, everyone, incentive, and let's start writing the formula. Now I want to test every criteria here: greater than 8,000, less than greater than 5,000 and less than 8,000, greater than 3,000 and less than 5,000, and less than 3,000. Okay, so if my this value is greater than equals to 8,000, comma, value if true, what you want to do? I want to give this into 5% of this as incentive, comma, value if false. If value is not greater than 8,000, program will jump to false argument, and here I will start my one more if formula. This if formula is if my second logical test is if value is greater than 5,000. If value is greater than, this value is greater than equals to 5,000, what I want to do? I want to give this into 2.5% of sales as an incentive. Now guys, we have written only one logical, in this logical test, only one criteria. You can see value greater than 5,000, give 2.5% of this as an incentive. But in this, you can see we have two criteria. One is value should be greater than 5,000 and less than 8,000. So the situation where you have a multiple criteria, we use AND and OR function. AND function, using AND function, you can check multiple logical tests. My second logical test is if this value is less than 8,000. So we are testing both the test, logical test 1, logical test 2. If both the test returns true, program will return the true value, else program will jump to the false part. In false part, we'll start one more if everyone for the third case, this one. Again AND function, and this AND function is again if my value D7 is greater than equals to 3000, comma, if value D7 is less than 5000, what I want to do, I want to give D7 into 1% of D7 as an incentive, else no incentive. We have tested all the conditions, all the logical test 1, logical test 2, logical test 3. Now here I say, okay, I don't want to give any incentive, let's say 0. Close braces of one if formula, second if formula, third if formula, hit enter, and this is the output. Now 4000 falls between this bucket. 1% of 4000 is $40, everyone. Now you can double click on this and you can drag your formula. Then let me use sum formula equal, because I want to see sum of this entire. From here, control shift right, close braces, hit enter, and you can see your total incentive. So if formula, in if formula everyone, we have 3 arguments, equal if. 3 arguments are value, logical test, we pass our logical test. If our logical test becomes true, program jumps to the true case. If our logical test becomes false, program jumps to the false case. If you have multiple logical tests, what we do, we pass our one logical test. Then if this test becomes false, from the false argument, we start our second logical test. So this is how if formula works in Excel, everyone. Okay. So this is for this lesson, everyone. Have a nice day.